say it was cracked as well. So many years after you taking it in yours. And then, however many years later, and I've got my own.
Yes. I really didn't say a lot. I didn't know what to say to you. He's not saying much. Ooh, do I scare him or what? Yeah.
No, it is. I was just enjoying it. In fact, actually, Flopsy's chair, I was more or less falling asleep in because it was that comfy.
They're very comfy chairs actually in that car.
But
easy to find a bloke that fancies on with you.
Yes.
But you can see like you can see how badly they painted it because it's red on that. Because I finally figured I had to take it off.
Yeah, so that's gone off on mine. So
but
yeah, so
look, you see,
get them, mate.
you see what I mean? Look, just random like nibs.
another massive bit over
It's
there.
There's the lights.
Yeah, that was a bit of
Terrifies me
They'll
that.
clean
All
up.
that going round there and there's like wires clipped that far away.
It's
So just imagine that.
Oh, yeah,
It's a
so
little
the
lower
fastest
with
drawing
a
on
big air filter.
Amazon.
But
Oh
yeah,
god, these things are the bane of my life for putting back on. I hate putting these bloody, I hate putting them bloody things back on.
What is it?
The numplate nights.
They're alright, it'd be spitting out to do it.
No.
Yeah, but I could never fathom out to bloody do it, can I?
No.
I'm not swearing and cussing and throwing tools around.
Is that the one that's just gone off the
Because
ceiling?
the screws go into that little metal plate.
I know, and I can never get the thing to...
So, you can give it LS. This is an LS one.
So you put the screws in to start with without the light.
Screwed them over left, right, centre.
Right.
Bloody.
Right.
But basically, it came.
Then?
Originally, why he did it was he was having trouble with his automatic gearbox.
Tell you what,
And
take
literally
one
What
out,
you just said.
then
So
put the
you
light,
spent
put
30
the
grand
screw the other one in.
swap, and
through the light, there's one screw, so
just the wire burns on the
one screw goes through the light into the bracket, then you hold the
You
light,
know, the wires for the automatic
snap you
gearbox
turn, hold the metal plate in the right position,
training wire.
and you unscrew the other
You know, when
screw,
you plug in, you have the
Sorry,
socket, you plug your
and screw it
phone
back in
into
again.
the car, tow bar wire.
one at a
That's what
time.
it is.
Smart ass.
And it just literally
It's
goes
very
over
easy.
the top. It's
It really
near
is.
Dear.
the crossover
Now,
part for the exhaust.
that's full wiring diagram.
So
Right?
Yeah,
many
that's
people
looks like
have
the same one I've got, that I've got the
taken
PDF
somewhere,
file
done
for.
something. Somebody's plugged back in the one for the manual gearbox. The car doesn't work anymore.
You could tell I was prepared for Halloween, but I didn't.
They are very
I didn't get very far because it rained.
So you did this resizable, so you put it inside
Is that
the
the one
light.
with the fuse boxes on as well?
Probably.
Yeah.
It looks like a little London tube map with all
Actually,
the
no, it's
dots.
not.
Look.
That's not the full
Flip it over.
Flip it over. No, it's not. Do you want the one with the fuse box layout as well?
Oh, with all the relays on it as
Oh,
well.
it's down the side and down the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so old hat.
Do you know how much money I would give to be able to get access to these on my car?
No idea.
Well, probably not an awful lot of money actually, but
Oh.
it'd be helpful.
So we should have these.
Yeah,
Because that is your
Lovely, aren't
seatbelt.
Yeah, because I did wonder how to get them out.
And mine is spinning in the hole and stuff. And also, your car hasn't been butchered. My car was butchered. There was a 3-inch diameter hole drilled in my body tub there,
Oh.
and I had to fill it from the inside after taking these panels that you've got out there. And I would just love to see what god awful mess it looks like from the outside, but from the inside it looks alright because I had to refiberglass it all.
Well,
in
see,
one.
because this is where it got hit, because you can see it there.
How you want the lights to be.
But if you, but I'll show you what I mean by
Probably the same.
one finger.
All professionally made, got some at home.
That's all right. No
No
I was
effort.
gonna make some at work, but I couldn't find any PCB
Yeah,
boards.
so that's why I always shut that door first, then this, because otherwise,
I'll give it you for nothing.
well, if you look down here where the VIN plate is,
Big enough, that big.
Oh, is it?
I've got
Oh, yeah,
shimmy
definitely.
back into it.
You can have them.
So I've
What do
got
your parents think of you
I
doing this car?
I've got 4
Yeah.
sheets of it.
Yeah, no, we have a CNC.
they like the fact that I've got what I want, but they're a bit annoyed at the fact they had to move everything out of here
Yeah.
to fit it in. But
I think it's
as I say, you can just see where it got hit because they've riveted it in there.
Yeah.
Some blank PCB, it's not got any coating on
What?
it. I've got some very sensitised as well.
Well, I say my seatbelt's knackered there anyway.
I know
Alright.
So
I've already got the PCBs ready made to fit your own ball holders in.
yeah, it's a right basket case. Just a random niff-naff of just wires and things that don't make sense anyway.
Lots of fun still to be had.
Trying to remember which one it is.
Dicky.
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 I started to call him Dicky anymore.
There you go.
He doesn't like it, that's
There's so many
why.
pictures.
I don't like
He doesn't like being called Dickie. Hates
I haven't
it.
seen that.
Well, I don't call him
I've been
Dicky
using
anymore.
one of them.
I haven't done for a long while. I just didn't.
But it's got that.
I thought it was me.
quality, but it's also down the side.
So I thought, within the thing like this,
He says it was one of the biggest regrets of his life was calling himself Dickie H on the forum.
so we didn't do it himself. I did that.
Plus his email address is Dickie H as well.
Yeah, but
I'll keep on putting ways of
I haven't called him Dickie for a long time.
That is
Even
very
because we know it is
useful,
to
that.
say Dickie, but once he's there, here, I will not say
Tell you what,
Dickie.
yeah.
Doesn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah,
Seems
so
wrong.
you've seen that one? You know, the updated version of that? Does anyone want an updated version of that one?
I would love an updated
Because
version.
it's basically
of
got the fuse bolts on it, it's got the relay connections on it,
And
it's
what
got
about
those on
all
it,
the corrections that
and
need to
all
be made on
the
it?
bits down there where the actual parts are.
Have they fixed the inaccuracies in it as well, though?
Charlie's one person.
that. Yeah.
It's always wrong.
They've got colours wrong and everything on that bloody
Richie
thing.
has his own that he's modified.
I've got my own. I've got segmented it all into
I'd be
pieces.
very
and-
grateful for a copy of that.
Yeah, I don't know, yeah,
Amazing.
you can pop it. Let me send it to you.
See if I can shimmy out of here now.
It's quite a tight garage to be working in. Hats off to you.
Why do you think I built on my garage? It was built for the
There we go.
Delorean.
Yeah,
I'm free.
Technical advisor.
It's a good job you think. That's shut nice.
It does shut, but like I say, it doesn't.
Stopping it from closing. That's why. Half the bodywork's missing.
That's the thing. But that door fully works now. Opens quite nicely because it's got a metal handle as well.
So if you, well, you've got all this.
Oh, yeah, I haven't got
I
it.
didn't.
You can open it all the way. It does open fully.
I'm happy to give you one.
Oh,
you have to have it
key
in the
bars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of key bars. Cool.
What's that?
Oh, you've got
Cave
cave paintings.
I've
On
got
both
mine.
sides.
Loads of them.
I've never had
I've
one
only
with
got-
exciting cave paintings.
I've got loads of mine.
I've only got signatures.
I've just got key
It's
codes.
got numbers and the card bin numbers. It's got another bin number across that. So I'd have to cut.
I don't have any in my door at all. I might have behind the panels or something like that, but I've never seen them.
Got
So
them something to the headlines. Loads of them on mine.
I've got nothing on
Loads
mine.
of.
Mine's clean.
I've got my sort of Patrick gives his go-to or something, doesn't he?
W-E-S.
Well, you've got access to all this. Although you're, I think yours.
They are.
You've got maybe a slight little bit of a lift there, but it's so small. But before it gets any worse, it's well worth doing that. And you know what?
Send to.
You know, to lift the doors up 90 degrees, take them off the gas struts so you can prop them fully up as far as they'll go. Take all the tension, as much of the tension you can take out of the doors as possible. And I literally drilled about probably here and about here,
Oh, right.
roughly. And I can send you pictures. In fact, I've probably got a picture of mine already, because somebody was asking the other day on Facebook and I answered.
So then press that.
There I am.
Yeah, you've done
There
that.
you go.
Now he should get that message.
It's a good job I'm here stopping this door from opening.
Wow, the technology. Just like that.
There's mine there.
Thank you very
Yeah, and
much.
if you
Oh,
want
yeah.
an A0
And mine wasn't lifting. Mine was like yours.
I think it's a bit more work.
Stick it
But
to yours.
despite
If
it not
you- if
lifting,
you are ever
well,
doing
I
it-
say not lifting, there was
Yeah,
nothing
but
visible to suggest it was
I
lifting.
will-
However,
That will be
ever since I
amazing.
bolted
got
down my
a,
roof, the performance
I've
on the
got stuff on
closing
the
of my
garage
doors
so
has
often
been
it's really
immeasurably
not
more
what you
consistent and
want.
better.
Is it worth
Mm.
it?
Yeah.
So there must have still been some movement in that.
Just help the doors as well.
It's just helped the doors to open and close a lot better
So many
now.
Richards,
Even though my
yeah.
roof box didn't look as if it was lifting at all, I still did it anyway. Heart and mouth, I will admit, but I did it. It's just, and when he's got the car in this condition, it's well worth it. Then just get it done, and then it's peace of mind. You know, it's not going to lift after that.
Yeah.
Damn,
Well, I just painted all this.
Yeah.
It is a really, really
Because there were a couple of rust specks dotted around on the top of it, so I just sanded it all completely down.
You've done more than me. Mine still is the original paint job. I just left it the way it was. I just tended to the inside of it. I thought, well, if the
There's so
outside
many
looks like
of
that
the
after
cars I
40
have.
years,
The
just
first
leave
thing
it
I'll
like that.
do is
you know.
take these plugs out and I clean all of them.
If I was going to do much more, I'd probably
There's
be
a little
looking at
Dremel
a stainless
attachment,
Yeah.
like a
box.
little,
Yeah,
just
Yeah,
the right
complete
diameter. You
replacement,
can get
but-
down there, clean all the things up, put it back together.
brilliant,
You'd be
isn't it?
amazed how many things that didn't work all of a sudden come to life.
Well, that was the
It
first
takes you
thing
5
that.
minutes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
Put
the
it
ones,
and
yeah,
close
the ones
them
I
back
had,
again.
well, don't do what I did.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
So
It
I
was
was
just
doing the
like
roof box.
there was just a
you know,
little
connected
silver
in there,
plate.
rubbish.
Yeah.
So I did the old school
Now
version.
that
So
you
it's
pick that, pull that off, take
Vinegar.
a glass scraper to
Ah,
There was like
Yeah,
a
no.
No,
metal
don't do that.
plate on
Pull it out.
Mm.
There's nothing left.
Just like some random.
So I changed them all for Deutsche
It's like-
connections,
Look,
which
somewhere down here.
Yeah, it
there
cost
are
20
So you've
Right,
got
there's
the
left.
new
They're
Ripples
not connected to
connectors
anything.
then.
Sorry?
Ripples connectors there.
What's
Some
those?
others dotted
That's what
around
those
that
are, the
aren't
ripples.
connected.
Oh no, the ones on the in the roof box.
But it's
Yeah,
like
Ripples, the little Ripples connectors.
that
Oh,
down
you
there
still
is
buy
all
them?
free.
No, the ones on the
Oh, the
roof
big
box.
one. Oh, the big ones.
Yeah.
They're probably about the same people, God knows.
No, well, I went
That's all.
through it, could not
That's all.
find a anything that fitted it.
Mm.
So I literally had to chop them off.
Richard,
Oh, that mysterious blue gas.
he's done all the research on
What
it
is
because
that?
he told me exactly what they were. And where's he going from?
Oh,
Is that
yeah,
an
I know we can get
option?
those, but
Ah,
I put a thing on the forum and
that'll be your
no one
dust
came
stick.
back.
Okay, no, well, probably doesn't exist.
Yeah, that.
And we use Deutsches all the
No,
time
that-
at work.
Yeah,
that-
that's.
Because,
yeah, I'm
Wolf's
not
good
sure
as well,
what that
really
is.
good.
Yeah.
Anybody have any clue what that is?
is that
What's the
your,
colours on it?
Orange and a purple.
Oh, that's the frequency valve one, isn't it? That goes on the bottom.
Doesn't
Which
say
Well,
goes
that-
that was normally with that side.
Doesn't-
no, that's the connector for it, which goes into the diagnostic port underneath, which you
Oh.
haven't got.
Yeah, I've got no diagnostic ports.
So that's the one I was using to do my frequency job on.
I don't have a frequency valve in my car.
I find it really good for tuning, actually, the O2 sensor and the frequency valve.
No lambda sensor, no oxygen sensor, no frequency valve, no lambda computer. I've got none of that on my car.
It makes like a fine adjustment, doesn't it? But the Volvos of the era never had it, did they? It was only on the federal spec that you actually got
It's the
it.
emissions, isn't it? About the
Yeah.
American emissions, probably.
Yeah.
It could be good though, having because when I go down to Claire's exhaust place, I'm going to ask to have
I've
two,
never
one
had
on each
this
side,
panel off my car
just so you
before,
know.
so it's quite nice
with
to
those
see what it
you
looks
can
like
balance them properly.
up
You know,
close
one
without one
Yeah.
on.
going on.
Well, this is the thing.
horizontally
It was
with the
easy
other,
to take
just
it off and strip it out in the
Yeah.
garden. This is going to
Yeah.
be a pain.
diagnostic.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's like there's
Well,
one
it'd be interesting
dent
when I
there,
look at the
there's a
apron,
couple of
there's
dents.
nothing
This
like
man
attached
here's
to it at
taking
all.
his
It's got
door off, so I'm
carburetors
sure
on.
some
No,
nice
that's
might
it's
give
just
you
a
some
way
help
of-
with taking your doors off.
But then again,
do it
you know you're going to have to
properly,
go for an
do it
MOT
once.
every
Yeah.
year, though, so you're going to have to make sure you pass
They
through
are
all the
definitely
emissions.
heavy because I was the one holding it up
Still
while I was
not cold,
doing that.
I know,
No,
that
'cause
you
you're
know
over
how
the,
heavy they are, even just by taking
Unless
the
you're
gas struts
detuning it
out,
down to
just because they
100
just want to drop.
The torsion
You're
bar,
doing
160
I
now.
was just there holding it up
Yeah.
in the garage.
Yeah.
Just
Well, the old
waiting,
engine was
to
160.
Well,
arrive
it's
and
no
doing
bloody
that.
horsepower at the moment, is it?
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think you're allowed, was it
Heavy.
110%
I mean,
original
I
brake
think
horsepower on
at
the
one
car?
point,
Well, we take that
Otherwise
MOT.
you have to have an MOT.
suggested the idea
And
of
is that
holding
then
it
based?
Well,
instead
we've
Oh
got-
right, just
Instead
modified.
of like
Yeah,
pushing
if
it
it's
Well,
over
with
forward,
MOT
original
anyway,
back,
we would have, even if
it
it's
was
not
like
an
quite
MOT
close to
exempt
standing
anyway.
over the
It's
car.
road
Well, I get it
tax.
MOT, don't you? I just
It's like an MOT
yeah.
exempt. It's
Yeah.
about 60 years old, isn't it?
No,
And then he
40,
ended up buying
same.
an
40, is it?
extension.
40
Yeah,
years.
that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never had my
we would have
doors
an
off.
MOT anyway, wouldn't we?
This
Yeah,
man
I've
here's
never taken
taking
this
doors
MOT
off
in the car.
Richard's
So
doors.
we would always have an
You've
MOT
taken
anyway.
them off
Yeah, but some
umpteen
people don't.
times.
Mm.
But we actually did a swap because the door on Richard's car does not fit well.
No.
We found a multitude of problems, but I think it's actually his car that's the problem. Like we tried a door
Oh,
on
which is
mine.
car?
The body
Yeah.
top.
The Richard's
The body
car is
top.
warped.
Yes.
The body tube is bent
warped.
slightly.
Well, it got hit,
The
didn't
arm
it?
is bent. It's been hit.
Yeah, the
So-
way I did it, I figured, well, I don't know if it's right or wrong.
We figured
I
that
put
out
the
well
pins
done,
in the right
didn't we?
place,
Yes.
left all those loose, so they could actually move quite a lot. No torsion bar.
Yeah.
Closed the door,
Yeah.
so it locked in perfectly. And when you can put a spanner down each one of those, and you can literally lock off those ones at the top.
Mhm.
Then put the torsion bar in, and it came and closed. Pretty much bang on.
Yeah, I think
So
Richard.
basically, you're placing it where
Yes.
you want it to go.
Place
first.
it where you want it and work from that.
And
It's
maybe
one
out
of
in
the
the
things.
factory.
I mean, Richard's was actually the pins that hold the door up. There was no end of play in them.
Oh, really?
So that was one variable we got rid of. And there were two or three of those that we found. If it's better, but it's
So the kids got the
you're never going to get
Got
it
the radio
totally
in the
right.
car.
radio on.
Yeah.
And get bored.
But if you've ever looked how much those hinges are for the doors,
I don't think you can get
they're
them.
about
anymore.
£300 for one door.
You get it referred by a
Exactly.
place down the road.
Richard, luckily for him,
Recorders.
Tank Andy
Oh,
Yeah.
tank amp, yeah. Machines.
went there one evening, came back the next day. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just the bar went through.
Yes.
You got them replaced.
We
so they were tight
drilled them
again.
out, pushed them out,
Yeah,
did
yeah.
something I can't remember. But yes,
Well, yeah, well, you can
Anyway.
put bushings in, can't you?
Yeah.
Drill it, bush it. And
that's it.
Mm.
Yeah. So, and handy to have him on hand, so to speak.
All these useful people. So we're going to start getting a bit more involved in Claire's
I wish I had that
V8.
boot on the positive posts. I've got like an effort of a replacement.
Effort.
I just bought this thing from eBay and it fits. I have to wrap foam around it and then just so the foam keeps it in place. It's red, so it still gives an idea of the positive. But you've got the purpose-made one. I don't think you can buy them separately.
Don't get any ideas.
no, I've got one of mine, but it
On the
never
wrong
fits.
side of the
I
car.
can't actually get mine to do that. Mine's
They,
sort of
they
halfway
don't tend
down.
to
It
fit
just,
very well. I think it was what's available at the time. But as long as it.
It's probably for like Robin or something.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well, that sounds.
you have to do
But
that.
that's
Google
convenient,
photo
isn't it?
search.
I know what size would it mean.
That looks like an original Bosch ignition coil.
Yeah, mine is like
that.
Is it?
Yeah,
when
mine's
I
like that.
first bought my car, the ignition coil on it was. I mean, I was new to the car. I'd never seen an ignition coil in my life before, so you have to give me my dues, right? But back in 2009, it wasn't until I'd driven the car several hundred miles, including all the way back up to Edinburgh in the car, with the condition that the coil was in. But I finally got around to taking a photograph of it, and I sent the photograph to Martin Gutowski to ask him if all this black gunk tarry stuff that was seemingly just there for coating of the terminals was normal or not. And his reply back was, if you're driving the car, stop driving the car now, pull across the side of the road and stop driving the car now. And I was like, well, I'm not driving the car, it's in the garage, but I've already driven several hundred miles with the coil in this condition. He's like, you're bloody lucky the car hasn't already exploded into a burst of flames by now then, get that changed. And I was like, oh, so that's not normal then, okay.
I've never seen one fail. Yours would be the first one.
All the energy just spewed out everywhere, and I thought it was some sort of like rubberized tarry coating that somebody put on to protect the terminals or something like that. I had no clue at that point, so stop driving the car now.
What's with overseal, not underseal?
Well, because they say for my roof box, I mean that's a slab of the rubber that was on the top of it, and that was like over here.
This.
The whole thing was just covered. Somebody had a field day with
the plate that goes there that covers the cable. Yeah, that's what they used on there. There's just two of them in the car, but it's actually four there.
That was on the back,
So they didn't get a purpose-made cover for the roof
No,
box.
it's the same
So
plate.
there's one of the like holes there, but the plate's only got two, which is over there.
Yeah.
Parts of this car just don't make sense.
Parts of them don't make sense.
The roof box, I don't think is meant to actually be waterproof. As much as people try to make them waterproof, I don't think it's meant to be waterproof.
It's just meant to be able to get out if it gets in.
That's
But the problem is,
It can't get out.
it just has a nice time in there. And it sits on the edges down there.
You said like a wasp's nest, didn't it? Have you?
Well, when we got it home, I did get stung by a wasp because it was stuck to the tape.
Oh no.
It says Richards, it's basically all these back pods in here were full of wasps. They're massive dead wasps.
You often
And
find
the
them.
sand.
We take the panels off the back. Not that you need to do to take them out, but you'll find normally at the bottom of there, in front of the wheel, there's normally stuff in there. Mice, squirrels.
Well, when I
Dead.
pulled this off, there
Oh
was
yeah,
a big,
dead, long term dead.
when I pulled this panel off, there was a pile of like fluffy.
Bedding.
Yeah. I was just like,
Somebody's house.
thanks.
Off.
Years and years and years after buying my car, when loosening off the panels to get the rocker cover all loosened off underneath to reattach that, I was loosening off the body panels, the
drum
wing and
the automatic
down the
throttles
bottom,
are different to the
and
manual.
behind that,
So there should
and
be
this
two
is
cables
after
on
I'd already
top.
found it in all the more accessories. Behind that was just caked, dried cow manure,
Oh.
and it absolutely, as soon as you agitated it, it stunk like Billy O.
Oh, yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
howking that stuff out for absolutely
Yeah, the
ages,
cables. Yeah.
and that came from
So they
Martin's
also have
bragging years of,
an
I didn't even look
extra
after this car, I just left it parked at the side of a farm road, the tractor's careening back and forward and covering it all in all the muck and all. I was like, yeah, no. I found that because I've been cleaning all bloody out from behind the panels for years.
It's English camel, it's American
top
camel.
part of it. And
I
then
found
the
lots
other
of pine
bit's a
needles, though.
Unit about that
Pine
long.
needles and pine cones.
Made
Well,
of
Richard's
some
was
components which are 9 volts,
was
some
wasp
components which are
nests
18
and
volts,
sand.
which they use when
Well,
they
Arizona,
have
Richard,
a-
wasn't
There's
it?
sand
Yeah.
everywhere, there's
So they
sand
are
in it.
terribly.
Mine was full of, when I first took the interior out of mine, when I first got it, like 19
and
years
they have an
ago.
extra vacuum
And like
as
where
well
all the
off the back.
the centre console bit is, and all like round the back of there, that all like little them tiny little nutty seed things. That all had little
yeah.
perfect holes in there, little mousey. I'll have some of that, and then just left
Mine,
half a ton of
They
detritus
just
in
never
there.
clean up after
No,
themselves,
they're
do
scruffy
they?
little buggers, aren't
apart
they?
from Delorean books and magazines and thousands of magazines and videos and all sorts of that in mine, all I found in mine was a magazine from the Church of Good Hope and God's Slottinesses and Lodi, I bowed down his man and I was cured, sort of thing.
There was a mouse in ours that made its way into the next to the fuel tank, and me and Dad stood there trying to pry out the tank, going like that with a piece of wood, just going, get out now. Spent 6 hours just using
6 hours
it,
getting
2
that tank
planks
out.
of wood. And
Really?
See, what's really frustrating with that, if you
Yeah.
do it, you jack the front of the car up and the tank finally comes out, and then you realise you've got to jack the car up more to actually get it right out.
Yeah.
And to get it out of
Very
the way.
Because it sort of wants
Yeah.
to slide down the coolant pipes, doesn't it?
That was a pain.
It turns out the fuel was black.
That's when we were doing the whole fueling system.
Oh,
so I
yeah.
thought we were able to start and clean it out properly. But
Yes.
it was full of black
Yeah.
coal and stuff.
Yeah.
We've still got it inside down passage.
Yeah,
Still got a
You never
brand new
get rid of the
tank.
smell for years, do you? You know, and sometimes you'll go to another car and you just go, "Oof, don't want to do that again. Do not want to do that again."
Yeah, I've left my little mouse tube on the A post trim. Got a little mouse hole.
We're going to get up because kids are going to get bored and it's time to
Yeah.
go to bed,
Yeah.
really.
Well, it's not bedtime yet.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
I'm sat in my
Ten
10
car,
past, whatever it is. 10 past
It'll,
4,
it's
10 past
com-
5.
coming along well. You'll get there.
It's,
Yeah.
I think mine's
It's not
that
a
one.
race, it's a marathon.
I will get out that way.
You won't get out of the way.
No, a marathon is there's a finish to a marathon. It's not, is it?
Oh, yeah. Easy.
I know. Just wait till that starts spinning. You know, that really good idea is let's drill lots of circular holes in this fiberglass body tub and then put lots of circular fixtures in there with some glue.
There was a bloke come on the stand this year.
Really?
He goes, "Well, I did all the rib nuts for these." I said, "I wouldn't shout that out too loud." And he was like, "What do you mean?" I said, but no, I did have a good chat with him, but I said, "No, keep that to yourself."
Yeah. Don't publicly announce that one.
Yeah. So you were against using grease of any description to stop everything rusting into them, etc., etc.
The funniest one is that American guy that you spoke to said he used to have one and he got locked in it and he climbed out through the back, through the boot.
Of course he did.
He got locked in when he managed to climb in through the boot.
Mm.
And the thing is, I was fueling the car up at the time with the bonnet open, and I said to him, "Are you sure that wasn't a Bricklin?" And he looked at it and he says to me, "That's not a Delorean." I think, you know, he may well have been off his head at the time, but he didn't. I was there, I bonnet up, filling it up, told me he had to climb through from the boot. And I was like,
I got a funny text from my daughter actually.
What was it? He's got down liquor paint on that.
Oh, was it the one with the engine?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure my daughter came and obviously had the front end up. She said, "Your engine's gone." I went, "No, is it? Yeah, you got the bonnet's open. It's gone." And I went, "Oh, that's okay. Can you go in the back? Just open the back to see if there's spare ones there." Yeah, it's still there.
That's cool, that is.
As long as the spare is still
Just
there.
remember, one day she'll be picking your care home.
whatever happened to that guy? He had 2 engines in his.
Oh,
Yeah, wasn't
I
there
was
a
reading.
Honda S2000 engine in the front, didn't he?
Yes.
I was reading up about
He
it.
had a
the other
North
day,
Star in the
actually.
back and a S2000 in the front,
Yeah.
didn't he?
But why?
He must have loved the punishment.
There's a Vauxhall engine in America.
Probably.
2 litre Vauxhall
Well, the
engine.
question about that is why.
Yeah. Why? How many gear sticks does he have?
You'll
Where's
also-
his fuel tank?
when it's done and running, you have to refine your responses to the Back to the Future cracks and wisecracks and people car shows.
Yes.
You will. Have to
My
refine
favourite response is, "You made that joke tomorrow."
them. If someone asked me a question, and like someone said, "What happens when you get to 88 miles an hour?" I said, "I told you that tomorrow when I saw you."
Yeah. Yeah.
I think she said it to me.
It
Or
just
you get a
confuses them,
fine.
doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
It's about $170. That's what happens.
And the man on stilts, so like the fairground type bloke on stilts, he got several jugglers and this is a fairground man on stilts, so that shows there all day, and every time he went by me, every single time, there was a wisecrack. And I got to the point at the end of it, I was actually kicked the bloody stilts out from underneath him, so if you come around here again, there's some wisecrack, I'm having off them bloody stilts, I was fed up with it. And he come round and he says to me, it's on the spur and says, "Oh, I've got something to tell you." He says, "What?" I said, "Don't buy more Rotties of this." "Why?" "That'll be the future. You never win." That's not very nice. Really?
Never.
So it just, but you hate it, don't you?
Oh, why
It
not?
doesn't bother me too much most of the time, but
When I went to pick up one of my very first cars, and when I got there, I hadn't paid for inside storage at the docks. Right? When I got there were E-types outside, and I couldn't see it.
Oh.
And my DeLorean was inside. And this bloke came over and he said to me, "We put this inside especially because of the weather." And I was like, "No, it's all right. They're pretty good in the weather. They're stainless steel." And he went, No, we didn't want it sent back to 1955 if it got struck by lightning." And I was like, "All right, fair enough."
Fair play, fair play.
I didn't see that one coming. I like it when they surprise you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I'll go with that. It was, "There's your flux capacitor."
I've been asked that
Oh,
already.
I found it. There you go.
got new caliper on that side and the brake disc cleaned up, got the other side now. Mine, automatic one. Top nut, it's fine. This is there's baby.
So you're still putting the V8 in it?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's going to be loud.
It'll be nice.
Yeah, when we went to the car fest, when Alex was coming up, we didn't actually see him. We heard him before we saw him.
Let's have it carburetor. Very few English in all carb.
Is it going to be? Is it going to have one of those valve things?
Presumably, I don't know because basically it's a V8. It's going to be loud anyway.
Yeah.
I might do it. I don't know, but that's the old V8. That's going in it.
Oh yeah, my mate has got some twin turbo manifolds if you want for a Rover V8.
OMG.
I've got to have old manifolds. The problem is, you go to the wrong mine. You can't swap them from side to side. They just fit.
Yeah.
Extra manifolds for the exhaust manifolds, because normally, of course, it's a front engine, so the manifolds come out and go like that. So the manifolds will be going towards the front of the car, not the back of the car.
Yeah.
But they do swap over. But the ones I've got cast iron, the old cast iron ones, are not. But from talking to them, what you need is 4 into 2 into 1.
Yeah.
With decent sized bolts to get the power and stuff, rather than these crap things that
No, and I realised that if you were going to do it, you'd probably have to lose your parcel shelf in the back. And that's why I went. That's what I said to Andy. Find a absolute wreck, a derelict, horrible, ready for the scrapyard, and I'll buy it. And I'll mock it up, get Chris or Alex to do a chassis for it with the right mounting points. Bang, go from there.
So mine's got things like it's got sort of rust here on this part here, which isn't particularly very good. In the under there in the box section at the bottom, under the cradle, that's pretty bad.
I've seen that with that though.
Trailing arms aren't brilliant, and down the front ain't too good either.
It's solid though. Working on my Defender, when you did that, it's like bam.
Yeah.
Then we go back again.
And it's sort of down the front.
Then you realise it's not worth it and get a new chassis.
Remember
Sometimes
the one support vehicle?
Yeah.
And it's sort of down the front, it's sort of like, it's not brilliant, and stuff. Not fantastic.
I've seen a lot.
Well, this one Rich Hammond said he came around,
Not bad,
he said his car was worse than this one. I thought this one was bad, so.
You should see my Land Rover. And it's running around for a long time. And it was one that, because when you do that, it's got like that, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
not going, when it goes, so it's not weakened. So
this is the business bit.
This is the famous Roxy.
So you've got the different interiors.
Yeah, this is black manual and Phil's is grey auto.
And the wheels are more black as well.
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
silver, but I had them done in grey.
to the earliest.
Yeah, but they're not the right colour for the early grey. They're just like a metallic grey. So
Aren't you scared it's going to fall off?
Which way it goes
Snap
on,
one day and you'll hear a bang.
no, I think I'm all right because this is the same setup that propped up your candles
way.
for, so
The
should
other
be
way.
all right.
I guess it's not that much, is
The
it?
other way.
No,
It's like 6.
probably about that. Yeah. You want to leave it weighs the most, isn't it?
Yeah.
This top bit not going to weigh a lot of time, really, is it? It's got no mistakes in it either.
So you said the V8 was the same length as the V6?
Yeah, it's short. It's still a bit longer.
Still a bit
I
longer.
guess we need to move the gearbox forward 3 inches. That's how it's going to be. Look.
It's going to take the engine cover off.
Nope.
It's lower than
Does it fit?
Lower.
Not when you got the blower on though.
Well,
Don't keep giving me ideas.
So you get a nice little air intake over there. Can you scoop it in like that? It'd be like really cool.
that should go in. Even having said that,
I was not sure about that.
that's a 3-inch air filter. You can get them in 1 inch.
Yeah.
You just get this inside. You just cut down the length of the bolt that holds it on. So I could lose 2 inches off that anyway if I want to. But that as it is now lower. I mean, with the original, I measured it all up. With the original EFI system on, which was up here, it would still go in the car.
Yeah, I've got quite a few seeds.
The guestrate's not happy.
It's cold, that's why.
Yeah,
It's the time of year.
outside all the time, there's quite a lot of seeds and things in it.
Yeah, no, my mice made a nest in the back.
Oh, lovely.
I had to scoop them out.
So it used to live outside all the time, so there's crap everywhere. Right. She'll get there eventually. It's only been a project for 19 years, so you know, what's the rush?
When was the last time it was on the road?
2016. And so I was driving back from the tyre centre, having priced up some new front tyres, and so looked in the mirror and thought, where's all that effing smoke coming from? And that was if the valley had gone, and it was just pouring oil out and smoking, and I thought, oh, great. Hit the brakes, phoned the RAC, got recovered home, and went to the DOCUK meet 2 days later in the Aventine. Yeah, well, she'll get there one day.